There are many athletes who have resorted to using performance-enhancing drugs in order to get more of a competitive edge. However, with drug testing in place, most of these athletes have fallen victim to negative press and shame surrounding their decisions. So maybe it wasn't a good idea. Some of them even have prestigious awards such as Olympic medals stripped from their possession. So this right here is the top 10 athletes who have used performance-enhancing drugs. And of course they've been caught. Starting us off in at number 10 is Alex Rodriguez. He's an American professional baseball player, and he was once considered to be baseball's biggest prospect. But in February 2009, it was reported that back in 2003, he tested positive for 2 anabolic steroids, testosterone, and primobolan steroid. This was the same season that he won MVP, and he broke 300 career home runs and earned a Silver Slugger award as well. The 2003 test results were supposed to remain anonymous and the samples destroyed. However, a master list of 104 players who tested positive for steroids was released. At that time, there was no penalty or punishments for a positive test. Sammy Sosa comes into this list at number 9. He was another baseball player who tested positive for a performing-enhancing drug. In 2003 survey, testing was Sammy Sosa, although it was never released what the identity of the drug was. What makes matters worse, in 2005, Sammy Sosa tested under oath before Congress at a public hearing. I bet that also got him into some legal troubles as well. Make way for Hulk Hogan because he makes this list at number 8. He admitted to using anabolic steroids since 1976. He's a longtime user in order to gain size and weight. He says he's been using steroids for over 18 years, and based on his size, it didn't really come as a surprise. There was so much controversy while he was in the WWF surrounding a steroid scandal, where he was accused of buying steroids from an official doctor from the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission, and even though he denied these rumors, he was ultimately forced to leave the WWF. Maria Sharapova comes into this list at number 7. On March 7, 2016, which was very recent, it was revealed that she had failed a drug test at the 2016 Australian Open. She tested positive for meldonium, which is a drug that is usually prescribed for heart conditions, and this was added to the World Anti-Doping Agency's list of banned substances on January 1st, 2016. She was then suspended from the International Tennis Federation. Meldonium is not licensed in the United States, and its effects can optimize the use of oxygen, so it can give her an advantage. Let's move on to number 6 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He admitted to using performance-enhancing anabolic steroids while they were actually legal. In 1977, Arnold Schwarzenegger said that the steroids would help in order to maintain his muscle size while he was on the strict diet in preparation for his contest. He said that he did not use them for muscle growth, but rather for muscle maintenance. So is he really cheating? Ben Johnson makes his appearance on this list at number 5. He is a sprinter who won 2 Olympic bronze medals and an Olympic gold medal, and he set the 100-meter world records in 1987 and then in 1988. He was disqualified for doping, which resulted in him losing the Olympic titles and both the records. That sucks. The Olympic Doping Control Center found that his blood and urine samples contained stanozolol, and he was then disqualified 3 days later. He complained that he was using doping in order to keep up with other top athletes that was supposedly using the drugs as well. Number 4 brings us to Marion Jones. She is a former world champion track and field athlete who won 3 gold medals and 2 bronze medals at the 2000 Summer Olympic Games that was held in Sydney, Australia. She was later stripped of her titles after admitting that she used steroids. She was also sentenced in a federal court to serve 6 months in prison, 2 years of probation, and community service for lying to the federal prosecutors who are investigating her use of performance-enhancing drugs. Roger Clemens pitches his way into number 3. He's a retired American baseball pitcher who played 24 seasons in the MLB. Now that's a long time. In MLB history, Roger Clemens was one of the most dominant pitchers. He was allegedly using anabolic steroids later into his career. However, he firmly denied all of these allegations under oath. On August 19, 2010, he was charged on 6 felony counts, including perjury, false statements, and contempt of Congress, but it was a mistrial and he was not convicted. He received a lot of scrutiny surrounding these allegations. Coming in at number 2 on this list is Chris Benoit. He was a professional Canadian wrestler who is often considered to be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Things took a turn to the worst when Chris Benoit and his wife and their son were found dead in their home in 2007. The deaths were suspected to be a murder-suicide committed by Chris Benoit, and some are blaming that the use of steroids was to blame for this. Toxicology test discovered that he had anti-anxiety and painkillers in his blood with elevated levels of testosterone in his urine. Chris Benoit has been taking testosterone for quite some time before his death. This is why people are suspecting that he suffered from roid rage that was triggered by steroids. And finally, we made it to number 1 spot for the top 10 athletes who use performance enhancing drugs, and we're talking about Lance Armstrong. This was huge news. After denying many allegations over the years, Lance Armstrong, the famous cyclist, admitted to using performance enhancing drugs in an interview with Oprah Winfrey that aired in 2013. He admitted to using EPO, testosterone, cortisone, human growth hormone, illegal blood transfusions, and other blood doping techniques. As a result, he was stripped of all of his 7 Tour de France titles, and the International Olympic Committee demanded that he give back the bronze medal that he won in 2000. He was stripped of a lot, and he actually stepped down from his own charity campaign, Live Strong. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we do this whole thing all over again, the whole top 10 list thing, very soon. So I'll see you guys in the next one.